In the busy heart of Abuja, where the buildings touched the sky and cars moved like ants, there stood a shiny glass restaurant called Diamond Table. It was where rich people came to eat, laugh and talk business. The lights inside sparkled, the plates were white as snow, and the smell of fried fish and pepper soup could make anyone's mouth water. But behind all that beauty in the kitchen, worked a woman nobody really noticed. Her name was Emma. Emma wore a plain blue uniform. Her shoes were old and scratched. Her voice was soft, and she walked like the floor might break if she stepped too hard. Every day she cleaned. She scrubbed the marble floors, washed the toilets, took out the trash, and swept the same corners over and over again. She came early, left late, and never complained. Other workers gossiped, laughed loudly, took selfies in the staff room. But Emma kept to herself. She didn't chat. She didn't ask for extra shifts. She didn't even ask for help when she was sick. Only one strange thing made her stand out. At the end of every shift, when the kitchen was closing and leftover food was being packed to throw away, Emma would walk up quietly and ask, "Please, can I take the leftover food tonight? Not money. Not meat from the fridge. Just the scraps. Fried rice someone didn't finish. Bread rolls no customer wanted. Chicken bones with a little flesh left." The kitchen staff found it odd. Some of them laughed when she wasn't looking. Some pitied her. Some ignored her completely. But one man noticed everything. His name was Mr. William. He owned Diamond Table. Rich, handsome, always in a suit that smelled of expensive cologne. People feared him because he didn't talk much, but when he did, his voice carried power. At first, he didn't think much of Emma. She was like the dust she swept. Silent, easy to miss. But after weeks of watching, he began to wonder. Why would a woman with a job ask for leftover food every single night? He asked the manager, "Does Emma get paid well?" "Yes, sir. Minimum wage." "Is she lazy?" "No, sir. She's the quietest, but one of the best." Mr. William nodded. But something tugged at him. That night he stayed back late in his office. Through the glass wall he saw her again. Emma, standing by the kitchen door, arms folded, waiting patiently. When the kitchen staff handed her the plastic bag of food, she smiled and whispered, "Thank you." Then she walked out into the night. Mr. Williams stood up, heart racing with curiosity. He called his driver and said, "I want to follow someone." Quietly. No headlights. The driver looked confused. "Sir, just follow that woman. Don't lose her." And so, in the shadow of Abuja's tall buildings and bright traffic lights, a black Jeep followed a woman who had no idea her boss was watching. Emma walked fast, holding the food bag close to her chest. Her slippers slapped the ground softly. She didn't take a taxi. She didn't take a bus. She just kept walking, past busy roads, loud clubs, and men who called out at her from corners. Mr. William watched from inside the Jeep, his eyes narrowing. "Why is she walking so far at this hour?" he whispered. "She must live nearby," the driver replied. But Emma didn't. She walked for nearly an hour. And then she stopped, right in front of a crumbling building, hidden behind a mechanic shop. The walls were cracked. The windows were broken. There were no lights. Rats scurried near the gate. It looked like a place people had forgotten. But Emma opened the rusty gate and slipped inside. Mr. Williams' heart beat faster. "Stop here," he said. "Turn off the engine." He watched as Emma disappeared into the building. 10 minutes passed. Then something happened that would change everything. Through one of the broken windows, he saw candlelight flicker. And then 2 little heads popped up. Children. Girls. They rushed to Emma and hugged her tightly. One was maybe 4 years old, the other barely 7. Emma gave them the food. The girls sat cross-legged on the floor and ate with their hands, smiling, talking, chewing loudly. Emma didn't eat. She just watched them, smiling. Mr. William leaned back in his seat, stunned. The air in the Jeep grew heavy. He had seen enough. He whispered, "She doesn't eat, she gives it all to them." The driver remained silent, but his jaw was tight. That night, as the jeep drove away, Mr. William didn't say a word. His heart felt like it had swallowed something too big. In all his years of owning restaurants, houses, and cars, he had never seen a woman so quiet, yet so strong. He didn't sleep that night. He kept seeing Emma's face in his mind. Tired eyes, off smile, dirty walls behind her. Her daughters eating with joy while she sat empty. By morning he had made a decision. Big one. And it would shake the walls of Diamond Table. Mr. William didn't go to his office the next day. Instead, he sat alone on his wide balcony, drinking black coffee and staring at the morning sky over Abuja. Cars moved below like shiny bugs. Somewhere in the city, Emma was getting her daughters ready for the day. Maybe brushing their hair. Maybe helping them wash with a small bucket. He kept hearing her voice. Please. Can I take the leftover food tonight? He couldn't forget it. He didn't want to. By the time the sun reached the middle of the sky, Mr. William was ready. He took out his phone and made a call. Manager, cancel all my meetings. Emma. Tell her to come to my office tomorrow morning at 9 sharp. The manager was confused. Sir. Emma the cleaner. Yes. Don't ask why. Then he hung up. That night Emma worked like she always did. Quiet, fast, careful. She scrubbed the toilet floors till they shined. She picked up a broken glass someone dropped, even though it cut her finger. She didn't flinch. When the kitchen closed, she waited again. And again, she got her small bag of leftovers and disappeared into the dark. But this time Mr. William didn't follow. He already knew enough. The next morning, Emma stood outside the office door, nervous. Her palms were sweaty. She wore her cleanest uniform, the one with only one tear under the sleeve. Her shoes were polished with cooking oil to make them shine. She had never been called to the big boss's office before. Maybe they found out about the food. Maybe they thought she was stealing. Maybe someone lied about her. She wanted to run, but she stayed. The door opened. Come in, said the manager, looking surprised she actually came. Inside the large office, the air smelled like fresh wood and cologne. A big bookshelf filled one wall. The carpet was soft, and the windows looked out over the whole city. Mr. William sat behind a shiny black desk, wearing a navy blue suit. His eyes were calm but serious. Emma stood straight and greeted him. Good morning, sir. Sit down, he said. She sat at the edge of the chair, her hands on her lap. Her heart beat so fast, it felt like a drum in her chest. Mr. William leaned forward. I followed you 2 nights ago. Emma's face went pale. I know where you live. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came. I saw the house, he continued softly. I saw your daughters. I saw how you didn't eat, how you gave everything to them. Tears filled Emma's eyes, but she quickly wiped them. I wasn't spying to shame you, he added gently. I wanted to understand you. And now that I do, I can't stay quiet. Emma looked down. Her lips trembled. Why didn't you ask for help, he asked. She shook her head. Because I didn't want pity. I just needed to feed them. That's all. Mr. William was quiet for a long time. Then he stood up and walked to the window. You've worked here for 3 years. Never late. Never lazy. Never noisy. You cleaned up after people who will never know your name. And still you smiled. He turned and looked her in the eyes. I want to offer you something. Emma blinked. I want you to stop cleaning floors, he said. From today, I want you to be my personal assistant. Emma gasped. Sir. It's not just a title, he said. You'll have your own desk, your own salary, a real one. You'll come to work in clean clothes. I'll train you. I'll help you grow. And most importantly, I've already arranged a new apartment for you and your daughters. Emma broke into tears. I've also paid for their school fees. They start next week. Emma dropped to her knees on the soft carpet. Please, sir, don't play with me. I'm not playing. She covered her face and cried harder. All the pain she carried, all the nights she slept hungry, All the mornings her girls asked for things she couldn't afford. They rushed out of her eyes like a broken pipe. Mr. William didn't stop her. He just stood there and let her cry. He knew this was more than a job offer. It was a rescue. When she finally calmed down, he helped her sit again. "You deserve more than scraps, Emma," he said. "You deserve honor." That evening, Emma walked home, but not to the broken building. She walked into a clean, painted apartment with 2 bedrooms, soft beds, a working bathroom, and a fridge filled with food. Her daughters ran through the house, screaming with joy. "Mummy, look! Mirror! Mummy, look! A window that closes!" That night, for the first time in years, Emma ate dinner, real dinner, with her children. Not scraps, not stolen sips, but a full plate. And when she lay down on a mattress with a pillow under her head, she looked at the ceiling and whispered, "Thank you, God." She didn't need riches. She didn't need applause. She just needed someone to see her. And Mr. William had seen her. Monday morning arrived like a dream. Emma stood in front of a mirror, brushing her hair gently. Her new outfit, a neat green blouse and black skirt, had no stains, no tears. Her shoes were flat, black and clean. For the first time in many years, she looked like someone who had been seen, not someone who blended into corners. Her daughters, dressed in neat school uniforms, hugged her before stepping into the school bus waiting outside. Their faces glowed. They were safe. They were fed. They had a future now. Emma locked the door of their new apartment, whispered a small prayer, and took a taxi to work. When she entered Diamond Table that day, the staff stared. Some almost dropped their trays. Emma, the quiet cleaner, now walked like the ground belonged to her. She nodded politely, not proudly, not loudly, just differently. Her silence had changed. It now carried strength. She walked past the mop room, past the toilets, past the kitchen door where she once waited for scraps, straight into the main office wing. Mr. William was already at his desk when she arrived. He looked up and smiled. "You're early." "I wanted to be," Emma replied with a small bow. "Good," he said, handing her a file. "Let's begin." And so they did. Day by day, Emma learned how to answer emails, how to schedule meetings, how to speak clearly, stand tall, and make decisions. Mr. William was patient. He explained things twice when needed. He praised her for small wins. He gave her space to grow, and slowly, Emma began to shine. But not everyone was happy. Some of the other staff whispered behind her back. How did she jump from cleaner to assistant? She must have done something to impress the boss. Does she even know how to use a computer? Emma heard some of the gossip, but she didn't let it break her. She remembered her old life. Cold nights, leaking roofs, empty plates. Compared to that, a few jealous words were just dust. One day, while Emma typed at her new desk, a new waitress named Amina came up to her and whispered, "Is it true? You were a cleaner here." Emma looked at her and smiled. "Yes." Amina's eyes widened. "But how did you get here?" Emma leaned closer and said softly, "Kindness. And quiet work." From that day, Amina stopped gossiping and started watching Emma carefully. Weeks passed, then months. Emma's children were now top of their class. Her youngest wrote an essay titled, "My Mummy is My Hero." Her oldest painted a picture of a house with light in the windows and flowers at the door. Mr. William kept his promise. He continued to mentor Emma, and she never failed to show up. No excuses, no shortcuts, just work. And over time the restaurant changed too. Inspired by Emma's story, Mr. Williams started a small foundation for struggling women. They gave jobs to widows, trained single mothers, and helped other invisible workers find a path forward. The media heard about it. A journalist visited and asked to speak with Emma. She sat on the same chair where Mr. William once offered her a new life, now more confident than ever. "What's the biggest lesson you've learned?" the journalist asked. Emma looked into the camera and said, "Everyone is carrying something. Sometimes it's not money they need. Sometimes it's just to be seen." The video went viral. People across Nigeria watched it, shared it, and wept. Because in Emma's quiet story, they saw something real, something true. A reminder that heroes don't always wear capes or stand on stages. Sometimes they wear cleaning gloves and carry bags of leftover food. That night, as the city lights blinked outside her window, Emma tucked her daughters into bed. She kissed their foreheads, turned off the lamp, and sat by the window with a warm mug of tea. She thought about everything. How the world had once ignored her. How silence had almost buried her. And how one man's choice to look deeper had changed her world. There were still problems in the city. Still hunger. Still sadness. But in a small apartment on a quiet street in Abuja, there lived a woman who had once lived on scraps, and now lived with dignity. And every morning she woke up, she whispered a promise to herself. I will never waste my second chance.